on the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We are in the middle of one of the biggest changes in humanity. And each and every one of you are actually who's important. You, as the individual, being a ripple maker, certainly. And us, as a collective, coming together, helping steer consciousness, helping with the truth and getting that out there. So, like the thumbnail would suggest, it's not Trump the man that matters so much. Even Charlie Kirk was having that discussion about what's more important, the man or like the world or the larger movement. And at first, the gentleman thought it was the individual. And Charlie Kirk helped him understand how the movement lasts well beyond the man. Trump might only be alive for another 20 years or whatever, right? But this movement will stay alive much longer than that. This transition, this change, this returning back to Eden, possibly. Things are going to get a lot better. We've certainly got some things we've got to work on this planet. I've got a lot of video, a lot of good stuff. Also, probably going live tonight, Thursday night. Right now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, obviously 9 p.m. Central. If you guys want to join, Trump's going to be doing a thing where he's going to be essentially live streaming Kamala's speech. And then he's going to do some chit-chat up beforehand, too. So that should be fun and something that I think I want to help spread as well. So if you guys like to join, I'll get a little video placeholder showing you guys the time and stuff coming up after I get this video loaded today. So again, a lot going on. We're going to try our best to be a part of it. Oh, I got the music show coming up tomorrow, too. Great music. Kind of has a sort of a vibe to it. I don't know. Kind of like we have control. We can take back our country. It's like, I don't know, there's just kind of a vibe that was built in. It happened accidentally. It was kind of cool. I ended up swapping out one song because it didn't feel like it fit with the rest of them. And anyway, it's a lot of fun. We got some good music, 80s to about 2000s or whatever. Again, a lot of great music. Some newer songs, some older songs, just some fun songs. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So again, that's Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, as I have to make sure I can do that properly in my brain. All right, here's Trump apparently wheels down in beautiful Arizona. Anywho, he's there, and I'm sort of doubtful this was actually supposed to be there, but I don't know. I think that was supposed to be kind of down over here in the border section I got. But Trump went to the border today. That's going to actually, I'm just foreshadowing what's coming, apparently. I don't know. That snuck in there. But here's where I kind of wanted to start. And this was, who was this put out by? BioClandestine. Good work on this. And actually, Elon Musk even responded to this, which I thought was pretty cool. So the year is 2025. Donald Trump is your president. The border is secure. World War III has been canceled. And the economy is recovering. RFK Jr. is the head of a three-letter agency, cleansing our government, tackling the health crisis, and enacting the COVID reckoning. Elon Musk is an advisor to Trump and leading the government efficiency task force, helping to trim the fat, drain the swamp, and using his expertise in manufacturing, energy, transportation, space, information, etc., to help return the U.S. to her greatness. Vivek Ramaswamy is serving as a top diplomat and valuable asset to the Trump administration, using his experience with pharma and deep state corruption to assist Trump in his retribution and carry out the future of the MAGA movement. About retribution, but fixing everything. General Mike Flynn is serving as a top intelligence director, where he has the tools to hunt down the deep state actors and reveal where the bodies are buried. This is what awaits us if we are victorious in November, and I want to kind of make sure that stays on the forefront in your brains, because it's very important that we get this ball over the finish line. It's up to you and I, up to us. General Flynn put this out. In the world of intelligence, while some things must be done in the shadows, that is no excuse for immoral or unethical behavior. In a recent discussion with a friend about figuring out how to uncover where the bodies are buried, we were discussing the idea of conducting discrete investigations, audits, inspections, and simple Band-Aid removal. Sometimes you just have to rip it off. Once done, transparency kicks in for the American people. We are still a government of, by, and for the people, aren't we? Once these decisions are made and actions taken inside government, Americans need to know just how compromised their government really has become. Most already know, or at least believe it. Not all of it is deliberate misconduct. Some of it is intentional negligence due to fear of being exposed for incompetence or being bought off. This is very true. We must win in November, and then the hard work of government reform begins. Those who don't want the absolute necessary reforms for our government will fight tooth and nail. Pay attention, listen closely, follow through, and don't forget to vote in this upcoming election. Early, mail-in, day of, but vote, please. Doesn't matter how you got to go about doing it. Take one of them and run with it. Elon Musk posted this. Propaganda isn't just about creating fake news. It's also about hiding real news. And we forget how far we've come. We forget how far we've come. Anybody that thinks, they're going to, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's again because you're spending too much time looking at what they're doing, but you fail to see how far we've come. We have platforms now where we can speak the truth. We have growing audiences where more and more people are coming to this area, to this side, to this understanding than ever before. We are doing extraordinarily well, but we're not there yet. We got a hard push going into this election. Here's Donald Trump talking about the intelligence briefings. Again, propaganda and the way the machine works. Here's Trump explaining why he doesn't get those intelligence briefings currently.
Nominees traditionally get an intelligence services briefing when they become the nominee. Are you getting those briefings now? There was some controversy about that.
Well, I could if I wanted them, but I don't want them because, number one, I know what's happening. They come in, they give you a briefing, and then 2 days later they leak it, and then they say you leaked it. So the only way to solve that problem is not to take it. I don't want it.
Which means anything that leaks has nothing to do with him because he's not even aware of it. Granted, he's got people that do know. Elon Musk posted this. This is the actual results of the poll that he did. Wondering, who do you want for president? A lot of noise was made about this. A lot of people were made aware of this. And so huge numbers flocked to this poll. Deep State, I'm sure, did everything they could in their power, fake bots and everything under the sun, though I'm sure a lot of bots got nailed on this. This was a honeypot. Elon Musk did this on purpose. Deep State doesn't get it. They keep falling into the trap. It's very funny. All the bad guys can't resist stuff like this. They have to make Kamala look good, and Elon's like, I'm going to put a poll out. 1, I'm going to find out some interesting information. 2, I'm going to honeypot all the bots. And he's just specifically looking for them. I think he's got some very specific telltale signs when bots are happening, and it helps us isolate who they are and remove them, at least the IPs or however they handle it. I don't know how they block them. Needless to say, Kamala Harris is at 26.8%, Trump at 73.2%. Those are enormous numbers. There are 5.8 million votes. 5.8 million votes. That's a huge poll that was available to everybody. Everybody. That is a solid poll because anybody that hates Trump went there and voted against Trump because they have to. That's how they work, right? They'll vote for anybody. Like they said, I'll vote for a corpse before I vote for Trump. They don't care about what's good for the country. They hate this man so much that no matter what, they would vote for a dead guy. They'll vote for somebody that's a communist. They don't care. As long as they don't have to vote for the person they, quote, hate, who did great stuff for the country, oddly. But he had mean tweets. Okay. Now, this was posted on Reddit, so, take it for what it's worth. But I guess some dudes were playing some golf, and the DNC, they talking to some guy or whatever, and the DNC ended up saying, hey, you guys want tickets to go to the DNC convention tonight and give you $150 each? And he's like, all right. So they didn't kind of believe it was going to happen. Ultimately, they got tickets. They went to the thing, got some free pizza, got their $150, and then left, and then they kind of chuckle, and they're like, yeah, we left after the pizza. We're voting for Trump anyway. Whatever the case is, I don't know. They had something to do. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Tori Says posted that, though. It's pretty good stuff. Now, this does bring me a little bit of pleasure, but I know it was missed by so many. But Yashar Ali posted this. News. PBS Judy Woodruff has issued a clarification and an apology for her remarks in this clip, which went viral. She said, quote, I want to clarify my remarks on the PBS News special on Monday night about the ongoing ceasefire talks in the Middle East. As I said, this was not based on my original reporting. I was referring to reports I had read in Axios and Reuters about former President Trump having spoken to Israel's Prime Minister. In the live TV moment, I repeated the story because I hadn't seen later reporting that both sides denied it. This was a mistake, and I apologize for it. She went to a source, Axios and Reuters, trusted them. I pull Axios stuff all the time, but I constantly criticize their information. I clarify it, qualify it, do my best to help with it. Axios is all over the place. They're making up shit constantly every day. So, again, these stories, Reuters is another one. It's a guarantee. You got a Reuters story. It's like, all right, it's spun so hard, you got to untorque it a little bit before you can even play with it. But she took that bullshit, ran with it on a large newscast in front of millions of people, supposedly, and lied. People are pissed. Nancy staged a coup. Pelosi. It's kind of the new thing that MAGA War Room sort of testing out. See how it sticks. You guys like that? Nancy staged a coup. Pelosi. I don't know. Not a bad nickname. Here's Nancy Pelosi kind of admitting to the coup, or at least sort of how the inner workings of it kind of played out, at least between her and Biden. Kind of interesting. What comes next? Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Don't pay attention to how we just literally did a coup. Okay? Don't pay attention to that. Look at what we do after the coup when we actually destroy this country. Pay attention to that. Now, Nancy, possibly one of the funniest moments I've seen of hers, but still scary as hell considering she's acknowledging the fact that she is planning on destroying this country. Just watch that. You ain't seen nothing yet. Hunter Biden's defense suffers legal blow. As judge reveals the damning evidence against president's son will be allowed in the tax crimes trial next month. They're going to let them talk about all the salacious stuff, the fact that he's trying to write off hookers and stuff as business expenses. Well done there. Possibly drugs, too. So, yeah, all that information is going to be coming out. Hunter Biden's going to have a really hard time. And again, I'm going to say this because this is one of those things where you can just see it coming in the movie. But Joe Biden is going to be removed from office prior to Hunter Biden being convicted. I do not believe Joe Biden is going to be able to pardon Hunter, and I believe Kamala is not going to pardon Hunter because they hate each other. So this is going to play out interestingly, I believe. Well, we've still got a lot of other fun surprises coming our way, but this should be interesting. I kind of think Hunter's going to fall, and I think that's going to be a huge sign to many of us that we are possibly making major inward roads into or pushing them back. I don't know, however you want to look at it. Donald Trump, truth this: for too long, the average American has been squeezed by the big banks and financial elites. It's time we take a stand together. Be defiant. We kind of need to. We need to be smart. Oil giant Halliburton hit by an apparent cyber attack disrupting systems. This is very deep state company. Halliburton is super deep state. Supery dupery deep state. So I'm reasonably sure this is a white hat hack or whatever. And sometimes they just got to figure out what's up, what their plans are. And I don't know. Whatever the case is, Halliburton is not a company I trust in any way, shape, or form. Not that I necessarily trust any of the oil giants out of that, but whatever. I think I admitted recently a gas station I use, and some of the people in the meeting were like, oh, they're horrible. I'm like, I don't know. I like them. Whatever the case is, sometimes we just got to go with who we go with. But all said, they're not admitting it's a cyber attack, but they're having all these problems that they can't seem to resolve, and they popped up out of nowhere. So there you go. They're aware of an issue, and they're working on fixing it, says CNN. Eric Trump posted this. Context. If Google, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and Procter & Gamble, all those companies, if all of those companies, if they all went out of business and laid everyone off, every employee, that is still less than the 818,000 jobs that just vanished from the employment numbers. Just to put that number in context. Good job, Eric Trump. Thank you. A major proponent or owner of a company. Huge. Folks, the system, it's coming down. Don't waste time. These guys can help get out quick, and I'm telling you, the price of gold and silver has been going up like mad. I'm kind of curious what it is at the moment. It's been going up. We'll see if we're going down a little. Going down a little today. Cool, because that just makes it more affordable, frankly. So yeah, it's under 29 for silver. Great. Just under 25 for gold. So it dips back down, and it's going to continue to go back up. It has been. March of this year, it was down at 17. It's at 24.81 even after going down. But it was up to 25, 50, 60 yesterday. It was really high. That just means you can buy a little bit more of it. I'm telling you, this is one of those things where that number's going to continue to go up. Inflation's way worse. The numbers are way worse. This situation is not going to make it until the election like the deep state wants it to. They wanted to blame it on Trump. It's not going to make it that far. Can't promise when or where, but I'm telling you, the writing's on the wall. And we're one black swan event away from something that could topple the whole system anyways. Folks, do you really want to wait until it gets a little bit worse before you make the move? I wouldn't. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, I don't care if you got $5,000 in it, folks. It's worth probably getting out. If you got 25, 50, 100, awesome, whatever. If you got more, great. Get out. Get precious metals. Precious metals are actually moving up in price. People are actually making money. They're gaining value. Their buying power is actually increased. There's two assets doing this, Bitcoin and precious metals. Nothing else is when you compare it to inflation. When you look at buying power, when you look at, yeah, my stock price went up, but what can I buy with that? It's actually been reduced, so I've lost buying power. Gold and silver definitely gone up. Bitcoin went up. It took a huge ass hit though recently. Huge hit. If you were like in it, you might have lost your butt. You might be waiting until it gets back up to 75 because you got in late in the game. It's also how this plays. Gold and silver seems to have a ways to go because there's still a lot of economic turmoil that we're expecting in front of us. That's why I feel reasonably confident that the numbers are going to go significantly higher than where they are. People talked a lot of crazy numbers. I don't want to say crazy numbers. I know it's going to go higher than where it's at, though. I can almost, well, I can't guarantee anything. This is what I'm betting on right now, and this is what it seems to be doing since March of this year when a lot of things started to really get bad. Everybody, investors, are starting to see it. Be one of them. Get out before everybody else figures it out. Same thing as having some cash at the house, right? Because when everybody else figures out there's a problem, they're going to rush the banks. They're going to not get cash. You'll have some. It's important to be ahead of the curve. And I'm hoping my people can do that, or are doing that. Goldco can help you do it and do it quickly, frankly, and they're very good at it. I mean, there's DocuSign and all that stuff. There's a lot of awesome. I don't 100% know if that's for sure. I've used DocuSign when I bought precious metals from them, so I assume that's available for all the stuff, but I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs. But they are awesome at what they do. They have a lot of precious metal suppliers. They actually buy physical, and they put it in a trust, so it's tax-free and penalty-free. Like, you can just step sideways and get the hell out of their system. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. If you've actually got some cash, you could get some free silver by buying direct from Goldco for some precious metals. Go to drslikesgold.com and just buy some precious metals. They're going to ship them straight to you, and you'll qualify for some free silver, up to $8,000. Pretty awesome. A lot of stuff going on right now. You probably want to maybe get out of the dollar a little bit and get into something that you can maybe park in a safe or hide in a shoebox or wherever you put it. But make sure you have a little something that you can trade, especially silver. Silver's kind of a fun thing. If this is like $40 and I just want to give one coin rather than like a $2,500 coin, and I just want to get some dinty more, well, silver coins, just in case everything gets weird, silver coin makes a lot of sense. It's currency. Think about it. So precious metals are a great answer to a lot of things. drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before they get out of you. All right, that's Kitco. Let's get out of that. Next, okay. State Election Board put this out. This is interesting. So I don't want to read the whole dang thing, but ultimately, Georgia's election board admits there were violations in election law. They have this hearing that's going to occur. They're essentially writing this letter to give the other party notice that this is happening. They're like, you don't have to come, but you could. And they're also saying that this is the chance for the other side to actually argue they're against these violations. And then whatever is decided in this hearing will be final, and they will be the ones that actually say, all right, here's what you've got to do. If there's any penalties that need to happen or anything like that, they're the ones that are supposed to issue like guidance on how we move forward, which is actually a really important part of this because like people just ignored the law. So how do we make sure we don't ignore the law again? And that's a valid question. It's like frequently when something happens in software, how can we make sure this never happens again? But ultimately, you've got to figure out how to keep that from ever happening again. Other things might happen, but we'll get there when we get there. Paul D. Thacker put this out. Twitter files. It's a little thread. It's pretty good. Democrats and media claim Twitter 1.0 was a private company that made its own decisions despite Biden administration's pressure to censor. But new emails show Twitter hired a lobby shop staffed with Biden loyalists and then coordinated with Biden's State Department. This is John Hughes from Albright Stonebridge Group, the commercial diplomacy firm founded by former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. They wrote Twitter's lobbyists to a senior official at the State Department. Twitter was seeking advice and help. They reached out to the State Department. Politico reported around the same time that 10 of Biden's top foreign policy crowd came from Albright's Stonebridge. The Blob, they call him, I guess. But Linda Thomas Greenfield, Jeffrey DeLaurentis, Wendy Sherman, Victoria Newland, heard that name right, Uzra Zaya, Molly Montgomery, Philip Gordon, Kamala Harris, Julie Mason, and Doug Emhoff, his chief staff, I guess. Or Doug, actually. Albright's Stonebridge chair was Madeleine Albright, who also sat on the board of the Atlantic Council. Matt Taibbi reported that the Atlantic Council was also pressuring Twitter to censor and had a State Department grant. So the state was pressuring Twitter to censor, but Twitter partnered with state to deal with the censorship to India. Twitter VP, would you have time to meet with us again for an update on government action against Twitter in India? State Department responded, we are trying to get in touch with our colleagues in the embassy as well as get more details. In a hearing on the Twitter files, Congresswoman Sally Plaskett said that, quote, real evidence shows that there wasn't coordination between Twitter and the federal government, end quote. This is laughable. Twitter to state, happy to brief you before you speak to your colleagues at the embassy who have been briefed by my colleague Shagutta in Delhi. Seems Twitter was coordinating with the state, no? How was Twitter independent at that time? A State Department official then asked Twitter to send around a calendar invite to all Fed officials on the email, noting that both Deputy Assistant Laura Stone and another Deputy Assistant would attend Twitter briefing. How could Twitter claim to be independent of the Biden administration while coordinating with Biden's State Department on India? And Musk's like, explanation, like, right, bang, bang. Yeah, how do we get past that little snafu? Donald Trump truth this out. At the Democratic Convention, they say we've got 70 days to act, right? After 70 days, we can go back to acting crazy. I brought this up yesterday too, by the way. What they mean is that they want to get elected and then destroy our country with radical left Marxist socialist policies. We can't let this happen, and if it does, we won't have a country any longer. The USA will be reduced to ashes. MAGA 2024. Donald Trump truth this as well. I will be doing a live play-by-play on Truth Social of Comrade Kamala Harris' speech tonight at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. We will start at 10 p.m. Eastern and be covering and commenting on some of the earlier speeches made prior to hers. She became the nominee without receiving one vote, stealing the nomination from crooked Joe Biden, who earned it by getting 14 million votes. I am no fan of Biden, who was the worst president in the history of the United States, and, likewise, she is considered to be the worst vice president and border czar in the history of the United States. But Biden got shafted. We will expose all of her radicalism, the horrible job she did at the border, crime, and foreign relations, and her weaponization against her political opponent using corrupt prosecutors in courts in New York, Washington, D.C., and Atlanta. I hope everybody will be following along on Truth tonight. This will be an interesting one. This is going to be a huge stress test on Truth. They're going to have a hard time. They're probably going to get DDoSed as well, but I'm sure they're expecting it. But this is going to be huge, and also this is going to kind of put Truth on the map too, which I think is going to be interesting. I doubt it will be anything near, as far as the direct numbers, anything near what Twitter or X had, but I do think overall viewership will actually rival or be equivalent to what he was pulling off with Elon Musk. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But I'm gonna go live with this. I'm gonna have fun with this. We'll see. I might hop on a teeny tiny bit before he does. I'm assuming there's going to be difficulties, so I'll just do my best to talk through it, maybe play music. Got a couple CDs that are supposed to be showing up today that would be fun. I can just try those out while I'm on the air with you guys. See what you think. But all said, yeah, we're gonna have a fun little movement here. Now, I'm calling this the push because right now I feel like the deep state's trying to make this movement towards something. Obviously, war is part of it too, but not in this section. But Thailand's confirming Asia's first case of the new Mpox virus strain. Like, very few cases of this are happening. There's supposedly one death at this point, which I don't believe, but maybe, whatever. And you even had the UN, the WHO came out and said, no, we're not planning on shutting everything down again because of Mpox. No. I don't know if we believe that. So we'll see where we get in regards to that. But the movement's happening. Whether it gains any traction, I don't think it will, but just trying to keep you guys on the down low. You know, people, if they start talking crazy, be like, hey, you can keep yourself healthy by doing some other stuff, getting proper vitamins or whatever your recommendations are. There's a lot of them. U.S. investigating Americans who worked with Russian state television. This is, I don't know if there's an interview that happened, but the people are interesting for sure. One of them's Scott Ritter. So his whole house just got raided by the FBI or whatever. So that's one of them. Scott Ritter, former United Nations weapons inspector and critic of American foreign policy. And the other was Dimitri K. Simes. He's an advisor to former President Donald Trump, first presidential campaign in 2016. Prosecutors have not announced charges. More searches are expected soon. Investigation comes in the wake of the Biden administration's official intelligence findings that Russia's state news organizations, including the global news channel RT, are working with its intelligence agencies to sway elections around the world. Here's where they're going to try to ban the internet. RT News, by the way, I actually like. They put some great stories out. Yes, they're Russian, so they've always got that slant. If you read anything and don't understand there's a slant, we got propaganda crap coming through Reuters and Axios, right? If I believed everything I read from that stupid magazine or tabloid, then the same would be true as well. So, again, you got to take the information from where you can get it. RT News tends to report, interestingly, from the Russian perspective. And that's why I like it. I like to hear what the hell they think, how they think what's going on. And oftentimes, we're not too far off, by the way, between the two sides. The gunman behind the assassination attempt on President Trump used encrypted messaging accounts based in Belgium, New Zealand, and Germany. I'm just reminding everybody they're making a deal about this because they want people to get fired up, and especially our side. They want us to come out and say, well, dude, we should be able to get to those. That's not fair. That's not right. We shouldn't blah, 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 because he was trying to kill Trump. Here's the thing. Telegram is, I think, in Russia. What the hell? Rumble is Canada. I mean, it's not necessarily a terrorist group, but again, we've got countries that have these platforms that we use. Telegram's the one they're going after, folks. They want to be able to take Telegram down. It's partially why they're trying to take down TikTok. They want us to accept that Telegram's okay to bring down because they hate the way that they're able and we're able to share information as freely as we are. And from that standpoint, probably the Russians are looking at all the information too, so they're aware of all the crazy stuff we're talking about. I don't know. Ultimately, I just want the truth to come out in the big picture in all countries, like all the way across the board. Got some stuff with Trump. Let's get into it. This was a good post, by the way. Donald Trump Jr. shared this Glenn Beck post. They need you to hate Donald Trump more than inflation. They need you to hate Donald Trump more than open borders. They need you to hate Donald Trump more than fentanyl and drugs on our streets. They need you to hate Donald Trump more than our children being killed by illegals. They need you to hate Donald Trump more than the homelessness epidemic. They need you to hate Donald Trump more than the abortion cult of death. They need you to hate Donald Trump more than the possibility of nuclear war. That's what a vote for Kamala Harris is actually about. It's 100% right. Trump campaign is epically trolling Kamala right now. It's pretty sweet. They've got this new website they bought. It's called Kamala2024policies.com. They literally bought the site. It's awesome. And here's the best part. Since she doesn't actually have any, they're making them up. And they're probably going to try to say cease and desist, but it's like you haven't posted any policies, so we're, going to post them for you. Kamala Harris's dangerous policies are are nothing to laugh about. Kamala Harris is a weak, failed, and dangerously liberal. Not only does Kamala Harris own the weakness, failure, and chaos of the Harris-Biden administration, she is so radical that she makes the squad look like moderates. She wants to abolish our borders, let criminals control our streets, surrender our communities to cartels and a plague of fentanyl, wage war on American energy, and destroy the American dream. So he goes into all the different fighting to set murderers free, more Biden on. Like, this is fun. Stop Kamala's radical plan for America. Kamala Harris is dangerously liberal. Her weak and failed policies will raise taxes, set murderers free, and make America weaker. Sign up today to take a stand against Kamala's dangerous politics today. So you can get into that if you want to. But it is funny that they got that URL. That's really friggin' awesome. Donald Trump was talking to somebody here, whoever this gentleman is. But good little piece talking about how he stopped 4 wars, roughly, he thinks, about 4 wars. I think that's right when you think Kim Jong-un, Iran, and all the different stuff that was going on. Yeah, probably.
When countries got out of line, I was able to hold them in line. And the reason is that I used the economic power of the United States and other powers of the United States. And I didn't get into any wars. I stopped wars with a telephone. I was able to get on telephone calls and stop wars. At least 4 wars stopped. And you look at all these places all over, and you need somebody that has a certain ability. But I stopped potential wars with telephone calls. By the way, Putin would have never gone into Ukraine, and you know that. He would have
Yes.
and by the way, for 4 years he didn't. He didn't go in. He never went in.
The Art of the Deal. That's the book he wrote. The Art of the Deal. The dude knows how to make a deal. If elected, Trump will demand the resignation of anyone, Pentagon, that was involved in Afghanistan.
But the voters will hold Kamala and Joe accountable for this November when I take office, and they're going to be held accountable for what they've done to this country. Right? Thank you. I will ask for the resignations of every single senior military official who touched the Afghanistan disaster. I want their resignations immediately. And I want them on the desk in the Oval Office, the Resolute desk. I want them on at 12 o'clock, Inauguration Day, everybody involved with that disaster. When you have a disaster so stupid as that caused us such problems, you don't know what that's done to the reputation of our country, the Afghanistan disaster. This house cleaning will be a signal to the entire world and America military and everybody else. They want people to be held accountable for failure and incompetence. And it's just not acceptable that something like that could happen.
He scares the crap out of the deep state majorly. It's pretty fun. So holy crap, you guys paying attention? Now this is he seems to be making a hint that he's been working with at least one of these generals, but a couple of them, for a very long time. One of them in particular since before he was even in office. Like he got approached, possibly. So there's a hint at it here, and then I've got one more slide that kind of speaks to it a little bit as well.
GOP Chairman Jason Simmons, who's been a friend of ours for a long time. Where's Jason? Nice tall character right here. Thank you very much, Jason. And somebody that's been with me from day one, he's a real general. You know, we have the real generals and we have the fake woke generals that did so poorly in Afghanistan, should have all been fired. But this is a real general, Keith Kellogg. Right, Keith? And this is a great group. It's good to...
So Keith Kellogg, he's the one that seems kind of interesting because Trump has this moment also.
General, come on over here. General Kellogg's been fantastic, done a great job. He's working on a special project now, aren't you?
I am, sir, and we're going to get it done.
Very special project. Okay, great.
Special project. Whatever could that be? Is that an executive order? Not even sure what it is. I'm not assuming it is because I don't know. Maybe if you zoom in on it, you can actually read it because it's actually words. Unlike Biden's typical things that he signs where there's no words yet and they put those in later, which is frightening. That's been a way they've done a lot of stuff too, by the way. Biden signed a lot of blank pieces of paper and then they put the words in there, it seems, after the effect. Biden has not been in charge of this country ever. Very interesting post from the Trump War Room. Apparently, Oprah Winfrey wrote Trump a letter back in the day. I don't know if it's dated. It looks like January 11th of 2000. Donald, I received the book. I have to tell you, your comments made me a little weepy. It's one thing to try to live a life of integrity, still another to have people like yourself notice. Thank you, Oprah. Too bad we're not running for office. What a team. Now, I didn't see that coming. Like, wouldn't that, because I was always worried that Oprah would be the one, like instead of Michelle Obama, like Oprah would be the one that would be a powerhouse. And, like, can you imagine Trump and Oprah? Oprah's vice president? Can you imagine? That would be rad. To be another billionaire coming across the picket line. I don't know. I don't know. That might just, because if we need a surprise in October too, think about it. Like, I don't know. It's probably crazy talk. But whatever the case was, Oprah at one point liked Trump. New York State urges appeals court to uphold Donald Trump's nearly $500 million civil fraud judgment. It's kind of funny, this part. Again, it just cracks me up, the hypocrisy. But the legal people for, the state, for New York, in paperwork filed ahead of oral arguments next month, New York Attorney General Letitia James' office said the current Republican nominee's appeal is awash in meritless legal arguments and ignores volumes of trial evidence showing that he and his co-defendants engaged in fraud and illegality on an immense scale. They wouldn't let him bring forward experts to demonstrate their assessment of the value. Was ridiculous. So they're trying to go by what was allowed in court, not reality, which Trump's trying to bring in reality. And they continued, on appeal, defendants tellingly ignore almost all of their deceptions, says the ones that have deceived. This is insane. They took a misdemeanor and upped it to a felony so they could take it further. All of this is insanity. Insanity. But it is what it is. And we are where we are. Folks, we know sickness, monkeypox, as an example, are running rampant everywhere. This is a great group of people that have gotten together to create this company, The Wellness Company. TWC.health/OTF. That's TWC.health/OTF. This is your step to making sure you stay healthy through everything that's about to go down. Or, at best, be prepared, or worst, be prepared, right? Spike Support Formula, they've got a lot of awesome supplements, by the way. I'm just pointing this one out because there's a lot of people that are concerned. But for those that have gotten the vaccine and are concerned about that to a degree, and you want to make sure that any of the spikes that are running around inside your body are, well, let's say, grabbed and held and then removed. Spike Support Formula is what you want. The way the formula is made is it literally seeks out, it finds and it binds perfectly to that cleavage spot in the spike, right? That whole spike's, it's made in a molecular biology, like the three-dimensional structure of it. I don't want to get into stereoisomerism. I doubt I could even explain it anymore. But the way that it's the molecules are and where you can bind to it and what's in the way and what can fit there, because there's the way it works. Long story short, this thing actually binds to it instead of it binding to a cell or binding anywhere where it shouldn't. It binds to this formula, and then you kind of remove it out through your kidneys, basically, right? Like you pee it out like normal. Spike Support Formula. It's awesome. Plus the med kits. Love them. Contagion kits specifically for viral stuff, specifically. Upper chest respiration. You've got the Tamiflu, the inhaler. You've got ivermectin. You've got hydroxychloroquine. You've got the Z-Packs. Actually, huge savings on those. Medical emergency kit has a whole bunch of like amoxicillin type stuff and extras. These are amazing kits that you should have. Supposedly, they're big enough for one person. I say that because to me, it's a lot of pills. And like the one time I went down that path, actually, I've gone down that path twice. Once was just, I think, a legit flu. Once, I think, might have been that first COVID. But I didn't have to take a whole lot of it. I turned the corner pretty quickly. And I'm not someone that just takes them on a regular basis. I know some do. So I don't recommend that either. You should always talk to a doctor, and that's what's great about the wellness company. They're doctors that are putting this out. You fill out some information, you give them some info to be able to get this, and I think that's just legalities. But this is 100% legal. This is a great kit to have. They teach you how to use it properly, and this could save you or a family member's life. So again, twc.health/OTF, TWC, the wellness company, twc.health/OTF. They're going to take back the control of your life so they can't take it back from you, right? Like, I don't know, I just make up these slogans on the fly, guys. Some of them stick, like, right? Some of them stick. Border stuff going on. The Harris-Biden, I like how we're saying that now. The Harris-Biden open border has created the largest child trafficking ring in U.S. history. And now Harris and company have lost track of nearly 300,000 migrant children. I want to know how this happened and what they're doing to fix it. So again, Josh Hawley, Senator Hawley, making some noise. I shared this story yesterday. Cool. He's making some noise about it too. And this might have come out 21st. So it came out yesterday, and when he got serious about this. So cool. Donald Trump truthed this. Today I'm going to inspect the southern border and meet with the victims. Remember when I showed you him arriving in Arizona at the beginning? Well, here's the story that it was meant to go with. So today he's going to inspect the southern border. Spoiler alert, we've already been there. And I share it here. So I had it in two places. That doesn't make me necessarily feel better, but that is what has happened. Well, that's you gotta love the way things work out. Sometimes life is life, folks. But yeah, he showed up to Arizona. We don't need to show that again. Interestingly, over 60 migrants are staging a hunger strike at an ICE detention center in California. Just gonna save us money, man. That's all I'm saying. Sweet. All right. Hope they're making a little bit less food. You guys ration back. It's all about that. So just make sure you batch cook. You guys know the rules. Come on now. Got some people that aren't eating. Cool. You're staying in jail. I don't care. Starve yourself. I don't know how they work that. You can't just force them to eat, right? Just let them die, or how does that work? I don't know. We need answers. China watchers sound alarm on Walz's cozy relationship with Beijing. I think more people are trying to get some attention on this. Obviously, this is not cool. This dude is very, like, Little Red Cookbook. Like, he loves this whole thing, dude. This dude is communist. It'll be like the way I kind of envision it almost. You guys remember the first Indiana Jones movie, right? When all the spirits were floating around, the dude's face was melting and crap, and then he melted down to nothing, and then at the very end, you just see his little Nazi pen or whatever. That's kind of what I expect with this bastard. Just some little, like, communist thing, or they got some communist tattoo, or there's some weird jacked up thing about this Waltz character. It's so bizarre. And he's just destroyed his state. He's going to try to destroy the country. He's got other people destroying the state. It's so strange what's going on in Minnesota. You guys have lost your friggin' minds over there. Or lost control, anyway. 44 delegates from 13 states snub Kamala. They vote during the DNC symbolic roll call. They vote president. Sorry. I don't know why I said that wrong. But they voted president. This is basically the people that are all anti-Israel. So 44 delegates, from 13 states. That was all they mustered. But needless to say, she didn't even get the full support. She didn't get a few of the delegates. I think there's like way over 1,000, I think. So who really cares about the 44? Whatever. Happened. Mike Lindell finally did it. It's been 30 years. He shaved his mustache. I don't know. I'll play a little of this just so you can see his face. And then his disguise. There he is, right? See that?
Wow. Okay, now we got to get the rest of the disguise on. Okay. Let me see how it looks all in one thing. There. Great, Tom. Here we go. This would be, I'll use this. The police gave me this.
I love you, Mike Lindell. He's pulling his cross back. I love you dearly, my friend. Your disguise is not that good. But whatever. And then, yeah, he didn't try to hide it. I saw some video. It wasn't necessarily, didn't make the list. But, yeah, Mike is good stuff. I love him. I mean, mypillow.com/OTF. I highly recommend it, of course. But Mike Lindell is an awesome dude with a lot of energy. He's a great man. Okay, this is bugging me in a lot of ways. Anyone that lives in Bexar County, Tejas, put down the taco for a second. Just first off, anybody in Bexar County, put down the taco for a second. You can pick it back up in a moment, okay? Let it just, the juices will just, let them congeal. This is a sheriff you all got. and he is, well, he's sold out. We don't know exactly what happened. I would be very careful in those areas. He's sold out. I don't know what happens because of this, other than maybe him saying what I'm going to play right now. This should make you sick if you live anywhere near Bexar County.
When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that, not for a second. He is a self-serving man. I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail. Now, down in my neck of the woods, we call that fooling around and finding out.
All right, that's enough of that. But what is funny is this part. This is the strange part.
Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail.
Tell us about what you are asking for. What are your needs?
Well, right now, thank you for having me, first off. Right now, what I'm asking for is for the president or a member of his administration that can make decisions to come down and talk to not just me, but at least 12 other Texas sheriffs from major counties in the state of Texas that are dealing with this issue firsthand. So I'd like to see somebody from Washington come down here, get boots on the ground, get eyes on the issue at hand, and then talk to us, a bipartisan group of Texas sheriffs that are really taking a common sense approach because we have to.
Huh. What caused him to change course? Texas, this is in your hands. Bexar County especially. Now, of course, don't do anything illegal or anything stupid like that, but this would be someone independent media should get on tape asking them questions. Something's not right. What'd you sell out? Who'd you sell out? Did you sell out the county? You got something for that, I'm sure. Nothing's for free. No such thing as a free lunch. President Trump welcomed all of the sheriffs, by the way, except probably that one from this larger group down in Tejas, right? They already put their tacos down. They probably ate them earlier. Breakfast tacos are delicious. You should try them. But all said.
I like sheriffs. When you weigh more than 200 pounds, don't come up.
Is it just me or does it seem like there's a crap ton? I don't know if that's a technical term or not. A boatload. Look at how many sheriffs we got here. You guys see this, right? You see all of they're all sheriffs. The sheriff is near. All sheriffs. Look at that. Crazy. All right, we sort of get the point, I think, but powerful, right? Like almost finally got to the end of the line. Sheriffs. We had one sheriff that got bought out. Bexar County. One sheriff bought out. You got what? 30, 40 sheriffs? One sheriff. Bexar County. What's going on, Bexar? Get on it. Get on it, guys. Here's more Donald Trump in 2015 when he was talking about Bill Clinton and Epstein Island. Sort of funny.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So,
The Clintons are friends
and he's
of
been
yours,
there
right?
for many
The
times.
Clintons are friends
Well,
of
I
yours.
can't say friends, but I know
You're
them.
friendly. You know them.
They play at my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to play
Are you
at my
saying
clubs.
there's a political problem for her if she runs for president?
It could be a political problem. Look, he could be a political problem. Right now, he's Teflon, and right now, maybe not. But he could end up being a political problem.
I always love the term Teflon. It's just funny as hell. Bulletproof is what it would mean typically for those that maybe like, what do you mean? It's like it's non-stick? Maybe too. I don't know, could be. I think that's what's, right, the coating. But I think they put, don't they put Teflon in some of the bulletproof stuff? It's, anyway, whatever. Or it was, and maybe the earlier ones. Anyway, CNN panelist openly questions how Bill Clinton can make these kinds of stages.
Bill Clinton makes me think about my dad in Western Kentucky. You know, when I was growing up out there, my dad and all the other guys like my dad, blue-collar guys, they love Bill Clinton. Mm-hmm. All Clinton guys. And now, my dad and every single one of them that I know, all Donald Trump guys. And when I see him come out here tonight and I think about the audience in this convention, I think the Democratic Party did once have a bunch of people who Bill Clinton would appeal to. I think they're gone. I think the people who, the blue-collar labor piece of the Democratic Party that propelled Bill Clinton in the 90s has completely and totally migrated over to Donald Trump. And so I wonder about the younger audience and how they view somebody like Bill Clinton today, because he's not a blue-collar hero to them. They know a lot of other things about him that, frankly, make me wonder how in the world he still makes these kinds of stages, to be honest.
Dude, Pete Buttigieg's name's on the bottom. How can I not say his name? It's right there on the bottom. Pete Buttigieg. What'd the final toe say? All the way home? Pete Buttigieg, all the way home. All the way home, that little piggy said. Anyway, maybe it wasn't funny, but sometimes you got to go for it, guys, right? Even the bad jokes got to come out. They have to. Just dodge tomatoes and shit. That's cool. I can do this. Ukraine's Bureau of Economic Security completes investigation into oligarch Kolomoisky's case. Kolomoisky, and they don't bring it up in this article because it's written by the Kyiv Times or whatever the shit, some Kyiv newspaper, whatever it was called, the Kyiv RS. I don't know. I guess I have a link in there. I could probably Kyiv Independent. It is, I guess. Well, whatever the shit. Who cares? This economic security dude or whatever, they're doing this. This is the biggest, richest bastard that they've ever taken down. Corruption seems to be the case. Money laundering, stole from his bank that he was the owner of, but like literally was pulling money from it. Like, this is the corruption that's been feeding the deep states, part of it. And Kolomoisky's name kept popping up around Biden and the deals that they were making out there in Ukraine. I don't know if he was directly involved. I wonder about the original investigation that they fired the investigator, right? I wonder if this is part of who they were investigating at the time. But it seems like even though Zelensky's quote-unquote in charge, I think we've got this weird other faction that's actually trying to take down the deep state within the Ukraine. Maybe. This has that potential. I don't know. So they got some stuff going on. Millions and millions of dollars. It's funny, this huge, I don't know what HRs are. I'm sure it's Ukraine's currency. I could have looked it up. I didn't. Sorry. 5.8 billion of those, but that's about $140 million. So good Lord. There's probably trillionaires out there. It is a smaller country, though, so that's a crap ton of money. If you're a 140 millionaire, I guess you're doing all right in Ukraine, probably. Yeah? Probably going to the best places for dinner. It is what it is. Scary times. Well, not really. It's exciting times, I think. Yeah. Zelensky visits border area for first time since Ukrainian offensive into Russia. Apparently, he went out close to the front lines. Again, don't know what's true, what's not true. It's like Kim Jong-un or Il, either of them, any of them. Like they always, they're always walking around with like the giant rocket thing driving behind them. It's like, hey, it's very good. Like, no, this is crazy. It's so scripted. So whatever happened is probably scripted as well. We'll see. CNN, Russia's accuses top CNN reporter of illegally crossing the border. It's a British CNN correspondent or whatever, journalist, I guess. Now remember, a lot of the security of like CIA and stuff like that, right? A lot of the secret intelligence type stuff, they do like to masquerade as press because you have credentials and you're allowed to go into a lot of places that you shouldn't necessarily be able to get into if you're just saying, yeah, I'm a spy. Is that no spies in this event? What? Why? Right? Like, but press badge, you can get in anywhere. So interesting how things work, but the FSB is saying that this British individual, Nick Patton Walsh, probably never know if he's angry, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, he got him and some other Ukrainian correspondents, Olesnya Borovic and Diana Butsko. Kind of an easier first name at least, but supposedly they all went across the border. Who knows? Don't care. Putin accuses Ukraine of trying to attack Kursk nuclear plant. There's been a lot of little stuff going back and forth. There's the Kursk nuclear plant, which is over on the eastern side. Zaporozhye, I want to say is a little northern central, but anyway, wherever. It's controlled by supposedly Putin as well. But yeah, they've been kind of shelling that area and doing some damage to the plant. Supposedly nothing enough to stop it yet, but Moscow, of course, like again, everyone's going to say, you can't listen to Putin. What, we can trust Zelensky? Well, okay. So yeah, we can't trust anything per se, but I'll admit it. I trust Putin more than I do Zelensky. I do. I actually do. I trust him more than the other guy. Anyway. Ukraine war, latest Russian military facility on fire. It's a depot, fuel depot or oil depot, whatever the case is. Got drone attack. That was probably part of that largest attack ever, drone strike. And they got through and hit the depot, which is a bummer. It's burning. Russia will put it out. They make it sound like it was a huge fail on Russia. I don't know. They got a lot of fuel. They got a lot of oil. I mean, Russia's not hurting in that department. So you take out a couple of containers and, all right, that sucks, but we got more. So, all right, I don't know. A lot of people are saying, too, there's Ukraine's Independence Day is coming up soon. I don't have the exact date. It is coming up soon, and there's the suspicion that Putin's probably going to hammer him like pretty hard that day. So we'll see. But he has been buying, right, supposedly missiles from either North Korea or Iran or both, or China. Well, China I don't think sold weapons yet, but that day might come. We'll see. Hey, guys, the Truth Thread, truththread.shop. This is just, again, way you can help support the family of products. There they are. We got them in there. Woohoo! Got them ordered differently too, which I that was a little favor I was asking. But we are moving a lot of fun products for one, but two, messages, images, just ways to kind of be a part of this. Some of you maybe just want to help the channel out just in general. We've got some very cool stuff. The Great Awakening. Are you ready for it? Got the microphone, all my good stuff on the back. The OTF Army of Enlightenment. I'd love you guys to be a part of that army with me. Also, we've now finally got hats. I haven't gotten mine yet. It's coming, and I'm very excited about it. And again, for people that don't know, it stands for DRS. So the microphone's the D, the mic stand with the mic is the R, and the S is the cord. So I don't know. I just think it's cool. It's my design. It's something I'm very, very kind of proud of because it's very indicative of who I am as an individual and what I've been here to do my whole life. So something I'm very proud of. And they've, of course, got all the different ways you can get this print. Good stuff. I don't know if you necessarily can look as good as our friend here, the model, but it does happen. Trump Armor of God hoodie is now out, and I guess we got two sides of this. If I click on it, she told me I would be able to see both sides. There's the back. Oh, there's the back. So put on the full armor of God. You got the Ephesians 6:11, which was the time he was shot also. So a lot of very, very cool stuff. USA Fight, Fight, Fight is a very, very cool kind of design that my good friend has come up with, Free Thinker. So well done, Free. Very, very good stuff. And again, your models are exquisite. And well, let's not comment on what I'm just clicked on. Click on the boobies, and you will get to the same pictures as I just did. So yeah, good products, and they got the 5G warfare stuff, of course, still too. And we definitely want to see you guys wearing those because that kind of explains to people what generation warfare and what is that and what does it represent. And you are here, which is kind of the important part, right? First generation, second, third, fourth, fifth. So it's a fun thing to wear, too, when you're going to places and you want people to see it. So, of course, check out our wonderful products. Go to truththread.shop. That's truththread.shop. And you're helping out the channel. You're helping the community. And you're also helping a family that's helping me do all this. So, it's again, I got some very special friends in the background that do a lot of things for kind of free. I'm kind of like, make it, do it, crack the whip. I'm like, and so, yeah, she's changed the order of stuff now, and we got a hat. And that was just because of sheer abuse. Sheer abuse. I wore her down, and I got us a hat out of the deal and some stuff. So anyway, go to truththread.shop, please, and try to support the channel. Send pictures, too. You can actually respond to the email that you get when you get the order. Respond to that email with pictures when you finally have, like, the image stuff, and wearing them, please. And then I'm going to use them. I've got some. I need to do it. I've said it a lot, but we're going to get more. I haven't gotten any new pictures in a while, so I guess I'm trying to get the push. I want to have too many pictures so we can do this more often. But yeah, please go to truththread.shop and make a difference in the whole community. All right, non-stop Israeli airstrikes seem to have continued to hit in Hezbollah positions through the night across Israel-Lebanon border. So, I don't know, some people are speculating this is the escalation. This could be. I don't know who's the good and who's the bad. I think we're attacking deep state forces is who's getting hit right now. We'll see what happens. Iran's the big question mark right now in a lot of ways. So, still haven't seen their, quote, response. We suspect that their response was leaked, and the response to their potential response was their banking system got hacked, and that might have just been the warning to them, like, don't do that. That's not an option. So maybe Iran's had to rethink this. So we're kind of wondering where the hell we're actually at. But while that's happening, Israel continues to just pummel. They continue to blow stuff up, and I even believe they've taken down another leader since that attack that sparked Iran's being pissed off. This is pretty funny, and I want to play this, and I think we'll finish here just because it's sort of long. What are the last three stories? What do we got here? Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll just stop here. That'll just get me fired up. This, I think, is hysterically funny, and like I said, I'll close with this. We're probably going to go live tonight, guys, so please make sure to think about joining us for that. That will, again, be 10 p.m. Eastern. It will be 9 p.m. Central, and it should be 7 p.m. Pacific. I'll probably hop on a hair early because just to, get the ball rolling, get people in, might play some music. I assume there's going to be problems with the Truth stream. This time I'm going to hold out a little better than I did last time and make sure that eventually when they get it resolved, I'm there, because I lost a lot of people last time. So it should be fun. Join if you want to, or watch on Truth. Again, we'll see how that plays out and how Truth holds up and how many of us content creators can get in there and get a locked spot and hopefully spread it out amongst other places. Ripple it. Really, it's what I'm doing. I'm rippling out Trump's message. So again, the ripple effect, we all have our own ways of being more a part of that ripple, and me, putting in some time later in the day. I've got to figure out what we're doing with the girlfriend, but she's getting home. She can Uber probably, but she Ubers a lot, so we'll work it out. But the fact is, we all got to ripple. We all got to do something extra from time to time, and I'm going to be doing that tonight. So I hope you guys enjoy that. This, like I said, is hysterical because this is Australian. I don't know if it's like a news channel or some sort of entertainment thing. Very entertaining to me, but they get our politics. They understand it better than most people that are heavily programmed right now. I think a lot of us are on the same camp as these guys, but I felt it was pretty awesome to see them talking about it. I thought it was pretty funny, and I also thought it was powerful that another country, not that my friends down under are a bunch of idiots or something stupid. No, you guys are friggin' brilliant and you're awesome, and I love you all down there. I got a bunch of fans that are from down under, but and probably some Kiwis, I would hope. But all said, they understand what was happening here better than most of us understand what's happening here. I found that to be fascinating. Like, the truth is getting out. Just remember, folks, you're making a difference. Your ripples are changing the world. Please keep doing them. We are making a difference, and we need to get everybody out to vote. We have to have overwhelming numbers, and I think we'll get there. I believe we will. We got a ways to go. A lot's going to happen. Stay strong. Keep walking with me, shoulder to shoulder. I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.
Her cackle, which has been a subject of great ridicule for the last couple of years, they've turned that into it's not an embarrassing cackle. It's joy.
And the previous day when her husband got up to speak and told their get-together story, again, nothing about policy, nothing about running the government, why she should be the next president of the United States of America. No, it was just all about this lovely, heartwarming, feely story about how they got together. And he made a point of saying how much he loved her laugh and how that was one of the first things that appealed to him and made him really sweet on her. I would love to see you find that many people to agree. But of course, this entire conference is just the vibe. So everyone's just like togetherness and niceness and awesomeness.
Except when
I'm
Joe
sitting
Biden
at home
spoke.
being like, I need it.
Joe Biden was like, it's like all joy, and then he
The
gets
angry old man.
angry and yelling and sneering.
And yet at the same time trying to convince everyone, they said I'm angry at everyone for making me step down, but I'm not angry. We're all like, yeah, okay.
But it is amazing, and you're absolutely right. They are going with the vibe because there is no kind of cogent intellectual or policy argument for Kamala Harris. I mean, the policy argument is where people are at now. And the problem these lunkheads make, these people who just get stars in their eyes any time they see a Democrat, and Oprah's one of them, is that no normal person feels joy for politicians. No normal person feels euphoria because someone is a presidential candidate or someone is their local MP. And they certainly don't feel it in the middle of a cost of living crisis. So the idea, like the optics of Oprah, a multi-millionaire, in fact, I think a billionaire possibly, getting up and saying, you should feel happy for Kamala. You should feel joy and happiness and love for Kamala Harris because you just should, is exactly what Hillary Clinton did when it was with I'm with her, you know. You should vote for Hillary Clinton so that she can smash the glass ceiling and fulfill her lifelong dream to become the first female president of the United States. And people are like, I'm busting my nut here. I'm busting my guts. You know, they've just shut my car family, you know, they've just shut my car factory and moved it to Mexico. You know, Trump's out there at the rallies. You know, Hillary, where was she? She was hanging out with Beyonce. Now you've got Kamala hanging out with Oprah. This is a terrible look. Like, whoever is saying this is a good idea are making the exact same mistakes. I still don't know if it's going to hurt it that much, but it is just nuts. But one person I did love at the DNC was this next guy is Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar. Just for the name alone, it's fantastic. But just, you think he sounds good, wait till you see him.
When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that, not for a second. He is a self-serving man. I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail.
Now, in Texas, that is what they call your dress hat. It's the one, you don't wear it for roping steers. You wear that, that's your night hat. That's your evening wear hat. You wear it out, it's fancy, it's pristine.
I think in Texas they call that big hat, no cattle, don't they?
No, it's all hat, no horse.
All hat, no horse.
All hat, no horse.
What the content of what he was saying.
Untrue.
What a blatant lie. It was the Texan governor who actually, it got down to the mattresses with the feds because he said, if you won't allow us to protect our border and stop these illegals from coming over, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. And it was these big fisticuffs between the Texan governor and the federal government who kept saying, no, we're in charge here. You don't get to take control of your own border. And the Texan governor, who was saying, well, you're not taking any control of it, so it is left up to us. And here's this guy saying, oh, Kamala's been doing an amazing job. Trump never did anything. They are outright lies. There's a few conservative commentators who are literally doing fact checks. So every day of the DNC, they'll watch the whole thing and then create these fact checks. Like, it takes hours for them to get through it all, but it is just lie after lie.
Well, strangely enough, it's almost not even that because it's so vague that it's actually difficult to pin down things. So this guy's obviously been sent out to disable the one issue they know is most harmful to them, which is illegal immigration on the southern border, right? So you know, this is as close as they get to actually talking about policy and talking about the criticisms of their key immigration policy. And they have this guy out here, again, wearing the big hat, trying to look authentic. It doesn't look like a bloke who's actually standing sentry on the wall, does it? There's not much East Texas red clay on him, but he's there anyway. But what does he say? He says, you know, Kamala Harris has been protecting our border for Years. Like, you can't even say the number of years.
When the truth is, we know that the Democrats love illegal migrants. And so Steve Cortez, a commentator, he decided to grab a Venezuelan illegal migrant and take him along to the DNC because the Democrats love illegal migrants.
This is Edwin from Venezuela, migrant, invited by the Democrat Party. He'd like to come into the Democratic Convention.
You have to get your credentials. Yep, you have to go to Jackson.
Yep. Wait, you mean he needs credentials and permission to come in?
Yes.
To get past the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a border wall in a way, huh?
Yeah.
Wanted to get to the convention. We figured that they would love to have a migrant from Venezuela come in. They said we need credentials, so we're here to get the credentials.
Okay. Has anyone filled out an application for him?
So you have to. There's a process in the application. I mean, he didn't have that at the border.
This is Edwin. He's from Venezuela. He's a migrant. Democratic Party wants an endless stream of migrants into America, so I'd like him to go and meet his political friends, listen to the speeches, and come in the Democratic Convention. Well, you're laughing. He's allowed to come to the United States without identification or permission. Can he come in?